everyone, and welcome back to the podcast Work in Progress. I am Neilani,
I am Sam, and this is
eh,
episode 2.
right? Choices. That is the name of this episode. Choices. So,
Choices.
if you tuned into last week's podcast, you know a little bit about me and Sam, and that we both met in college. We didn't say it directly like we should have, but we were studying theater.
Hmm.
We both graduated with bachelors in theater. So basically this podcast is going to be about like just us being theater majors basically.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's not so fun. We will always say
Okay.
when we get newcomers, we always say, "Welcome to the dark side of this." It was so funny. Like I loved how everybody pulled out a Star Wars reference on that one. But it would be like, "Welcome to the dark side."
May the
But
force be with you always.
yes, welcome back to the podcast. It's about me and Sam. And this is also for people, like I said, like our podcast is the Anything Everything podcast, but it's about our personal experiences as well. And so if you're just like someone out there who's a theater major, of course, think about being a theater major
Hmm.
and or just yeah, like in general, like, hey, like it's not bad. It's actually you really do have some fun, good times out of it. And
Yeah.
it's it's crazy. It's been a crazy ride for us, but we loved every moment of it. And then we would honestly, I wouldn't go back and change a thing. I don't regret nothing. Um, but yeah, but like I mean, like if you're a theater major and you're like second guessing yourself, or you're thinking about becoming a theater major, I say listen to this podcast, see if you can, get something out of this. Like I said, it's just me and Sam talking about us and in our experiences in the theater program.
Hmm.
We got a lot of like conspiracies, like not conspiracies, but a lot of like what people thought about us, which is like another story. But some people just thought like theater majors are just like are all about drama, and we're not.
Drama, get
Like,
stuck up. No,
yeah, all
I
that
couldn't.
stuff.
We couldn't stand it.
Yeah, so like like that's what we faced. And I had that kind of come at me at some point. Like people are just like not so accepting of me because I'm a theater major, and with theater comes drama, which was never the thing. Me and Sam kind of kept that out of our lives, especially when certain like like when things happened, like we kind of kept it out of our lives.
Yeah,
Because
or
we
at
had
least
drama.
tried to.
Yeah, I mean we had drama in our department. Like I think we had like two big major ones, but it wasn't like that big of a deal. One of them could have been easily, I say, like easily like not happened, but we
Hmm.
had someone that kind of spilled some beans, and everything kind of blew up in that situation. But
It wasn't even baked beans. It was like pinto or
girl,
black
it
eyes.
was ridiculous because like it would never had happened if a certain person didn't say anything. But it is
Yeah,
what it is. Like I said, we wouldn't even
that's
go
the
back
past.
or change a thing. We won't even regret it. We actually loved being theater majors. I loved it. It was challenging for me. I'm not sure about Sam, but it was challenging for me at some point.
Oh, best
Um,
believe. Yeah, I had
yeah,
my moment. Too. I'm sure we all
yeah, we all
had
had our
them.
moments. But I mean, I'm the sweet, quiet, reserved person. Um, and there were times where I was like, I wouldn't say I was forced, but I was pushed to like releasing my feelings in order to
Yeah.
perform the scene better, which it helped a bunch, so it's not a bad thing, it helped, because I'm more about like just soaking in my problems, dealing with it later, not letting it out. But theater is definitely a creative outlet, and that's one of the reasons why I chose it from the beginning, starting in high school. I started theater in high school in my junior year. I
Hmm.
learned a lot with my junior and senior year of high school. Loved theater, fell in love with it, so it was like my thing. And then so I went to college, studied it some more to further, further my knowledge, and I ended up loving it. I was the type I wanted to be. I want to be a director, so therefore I was just like, I'm just I just want to do a director. I don't want to do no acting, no nothing. But we had to do everything in our department, so
Yeah.
it was
Because I
really
guess the
difficult.
way we had to was that we have to learn every ins and out of acting, of the theater. So
Right.
if you want to be a director, you have to know what the actors and actresses are doing, what the backstage is doing before you actually get in
Right.
that chair and direct.
Right.
That's probably why we had to take so many classes.
We had to take a lot of classes. Oh my gosh, it was so ridiculous. But I mean, first coming in, I was a little intimidated with our program, to say so.
Hmm.
Because then again, we were transfers. We didn't know anybody from day one. I mean, from freshman year, so we were just getting to
Yeah.
know everybody. Some people we got to know, some people we just didn't get to know. And then we got to know people who used to be in the department, but they took breaks of school and then they came back. So we got to know those people. We made a really good friend group as well within the department. Um, no, my mom was just like, "Well, make sure you be friends with people outside of your department, like widen your circle and stuff like that." But I only
Good
felt
point.
comfortable with people in my department because, well, we're doing shows together, so we're around each other a
Yeah.
lot. So therefore, that's why I kind of stayed within my department. But then, like when I joined my fraternity, of course, I got to know different people, of course, outside of it,
Birds of a feather flock
work
together.
together.
That's totally
Exactly.
understandable.
So that's
Yeah.
probably where we were. But I was really intimidated by her program and I didn't know anyone. And I don't know, I just felt so scared. So I tried to like build up courage to be like, hey, hi, how are you? Blah blah blah. And I don't know, like I'm so sensitive. Like if you just like look at me in a certain way, like you could be smiling saying, hey, like what's up? But like I feel like there's like a judgmental stare right there behind those eyes. I don't know. That was
Oh,
always
girl, I
me.
feel that.
So I felt like I was being judged by.
I'm like, I'm still like that sometimes.
Yeah, the same. So I was just like, yeah, I feel like I'm being judged right now. Let me go back to my corner and not say a thing at this point. That was me, but I was really intimidated by our program. But the more that you get to know people, and talk to people, it became better, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, and then I loved our professors, every single one of them.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they were
they were
amazing.
great.
They were
I
amazing. They
mean,
were sweet.
what professor didn't have like their pros and cons? But in my
Right.
opinion, the pros outweighed the cons. Like, yeah,
Right.
we had their moments where you just want to, like, I want to sock you in the face because I'm so sick of you and
Right.
your. Well, in the end, I'm like, I still love you, bro. And I just
Right.
noticed that a majority of our professors were men, but it's a
They
good.
were
I mean,
we
I know way,
Right.
huh?
No, I was saying you're right because we only had one female professor.
But she
Well,
didn't last long.
yes, yeah. Well, no, okay, yeah. So when we got there, our transfer year, our first year there, we had three. No, I'm lying. Four males. No, because I'm lying. We have a total of, as I'm thinking about it, we had a total of six professors.
Yeah,
So our first year there, we had four males, two females. Then one of our females, our costume design teacher, she got transferred to a new school because she took on a new
yeah.
job. So we got another female. Uh,
She didn't last long.
she didn't last long. That was a whole wreck right there. But like she didn't last long.
Ooh, that yeah.
Um, Girls,
And
like,
then that's
because
when another male
everybody
came
was
along.
complaining about her at this point. It was really ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
that
She only
much.
lasted one semester, I think. Just one semester,
No, a
she
whole
no.
year. It was a whole year.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You,
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
you
It
know,
was a
you
whole
know,
year.
yeah, no, she was there for a whole year. They didn't, I think they didn't renew her contract. If teachers get contracts and stuff like that, they didn't renew it because she
Nope.
has so many. Because I think from my understanding, she has so many complaints against her,
Yeah, she
and
did.
it was really ridiculous. So we had, of course, four males, two females, and then our last year we had total of five males and one female. So yeah, we had majority of male teachers, which was like
Yeah.
fine. I mean, like they were
It
so
was
amazing people,
they
but
were. There were people that we could actually well, me, I could look up to them because I thought they were great. I can learn a
there
thing or
were,
two from them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
like
they're like good like friend or father figures.
right, because one of our professors, he's really tough, but it's in a good way. People saw it as a bad thing,
Hmm.
but but I think it's more of like you have to know the understanding of theater and all that goes into it. And that is like, it's really cutthroat. It's like, you have to bring your A game to it. So when he would
Agreed.
teach, it seemed harsh. but I mean, we handle it because like it's the profession we want to go in. But
Right.
we handle it because like we know like behind what he's doing, there's a lot of truth to it. Um,
It's just
and
some things you just had try not to take it personally because I
yeah,
mean, like you said, it's a cutthroat business, and you really had to bring your A game to,
right,
do your job. That's
yeah.
how I saw it's a job. You do what you got to do and go home.
Right, because I think some people had him for acting one. Acting one was of course a requirement for us theater majors, but also it was a elective for non theater majors,
Right.
as that. So therefore, the non I think it was mostly what I heard was non theater majors or the ones that were like complaining towards it, and like we're just sitting there saying like it's part of the process,
It really, yeah.
because I mean
Go with the
even though like
flow,
it
man.
feel like it hurts when you stop and you reflect on your performance, you see that it
Hmm.
actually did something for you. So that's why I never
Yeah.
really mind. So like when he apologized for like being so tough on us, I was just like, you have no reason to apologize because it brought results to it.
Hmm.
So but I mean our first impression was pretty good. There were some things that we definitely had to learn about the program, of course, and the like who
Yeah.
are we are within it. Um and then, I mean, our experiences in classes and stuff like that was funny. I loved our classes, and it also depends on who you have class with, because everybody's just like
That is true.
everybody's fun. Like when you have like a really good class with a lot of good classmates and stuff like that. Like I mean, every classmate was like amazing, but like it depends on who's in your class, and like it was just it was
How
so
the
much
day is going
energy.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
it
you can
was so
tell
much
that when someone's
energy.
having a bad day, you're like, oh, the class might not be. But then when
Right.
everyone's like in a great mood, like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun day today. So let's
Right.
get
It
started.
was so amazing. I loved it. I think one of my favorite classes. What was that? What class that we had? I think it was our acting 3 class. We had to do our own personal monologues. Like we had to write our own monologues.
Oh
And
yeah.
it had to be personal monologues. Like, like like you not coming up with a story monologue. It's a monologue about you. And I remember our professor looked me dead in the eye. He's like, I want the best. Like, he's like, Nalani, I want the best. I want top notch or the top. I'm like, that's a lot of pressure you putting on me, man. But so, I mean, it was amazing. Like, I loved every ounce of our classes. There were some classes
I
that were
did too.
challenging, of course. I found
Okay.
acting one to be not challenging, but it's like when you read a play and you connect with the character so bad. I mean, like so bad, like because we did The Wager and acting one, and
Ooh, the
I
wager. Oh my god.
like it was good. It's a good story. I hated it because I hated it personally because I kind of like I think the character was Ron. I sympathize with him a lot in a
Yeah.
way because it's just like you have so many people like picking at you, but then
Hmm.
like once you're reading, you go through like everybody's backstory. Okay, you kind of like you understand why, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just felt like so emotional tied connection to him for some reason. And it was like a feeling I could never shake off. So like I come to class looking bothered a lot because I'm like, for some reason I have like this emotional tie to a character. But
Hmm.
like in the book, he was like not like a good husband to one of to the other characters. And
I've
I'm just
forgotten her name, but
yeah,
she was
yeah,
something else.
she was, she was.
Couldn't stand her.
But like she was trying to get out of her marriage basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just like I had emotional connection tied to him and I just could not for the life of me figured it out why. So I
Hmm.
never liked going to class and we talk about it because I was just like, dude, like no, I
But I
can't do
think
this.
that's just when we had to learn that script because yeah, you're right. It's a good story. And speaking
Right,
of, I would love to reread it again just to remember how it goes
right,
because the main character Ron, yeah, he you really did feel for him. And the
yeah, in a way,
female character, actually, she was not the good one in the marriage. The husband was fine. It was
yeah,
her
okay.
who ended
Yeah,
up
so I got
cheating
it
on her
backwards then,
husband.
but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
She was trying to get out of her marriage basically, so she was like, okay, how do I get out of my marriage? Yeah,
Exactly.
it was crazy though. It was really really crazy.
But I think that's
um
just how it is in acting. When you get a
yeah,
script, you have to reread it to the point where you get sick of it.
yeah.
Because that's how I felt when I did Blythe Spirit. Oh man, I was so I was proud of what we did, but I was so glad it was over.
girl. I don't know why. Oh no, she had to do a British accent for this one, and that was the toughest
Wow.
thing for Sam to accomplish, which I understand because like
Yeah.
we don't we're Americans, so therefore we don't speak we don't
Yeah,
have
it's
the
not a
accent. So like it's like
right.
trying to adapt to it. But I mean like actors have like years of training on it. But it's like
Agreed. To
Sam
the point
had
where
to
it's really
like
convincing.
right, but Sam had to like get this down within 2 months and then bam, so
Hmm.
like it was like she did good at it, like yeah, like like we read our script so many times.
Yeah.
um
So that's just how I see it. Like you just have to, like when you go into a news uh part, you just really
Mhm.
have to read the script to the point where you're just so sick of it that you don't even want to pick it up anymore.
Right.
But with Life Spirit, yeah, I just, at first I was really frustrated over because, of course, when it came, how it was, Nailani, me trying to make sure I get all my lines down long with sticking with the British accent, I was
Yeah.
getting really frustrated at it. And in the end, I'm just like, why am I overthinking this? And
Right.
then I think it turned out very well. But after
We
that was
did.
over, I threw that script at the wall. Like, I am done with
Done.
you.
That's how everybody felt. Like I know with like I only had one line um
Yeah.
in one of our plays, The Three Musketeers. I only had one line. I was a nun. So no, I had like what, three
Oh,
lines?
y'all should have seen Nailani as a nun. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was like, girl, that habit was hot. It was
Yeah.
so high. I'm on stage with a bunch of lights beaming on me, and I just got done running around on the stage as a fighter.
Hmm.
So I had to throw on a hot habit, and I only had three lines. But I was sick and tired of my lines. I was sick and tired of walking out on stage saying those same three little lines, like saying
Yes.
"mother, you have a visitor," all that stuff. And then,
Hmm.
honestly, I felt
That
like
and
I feel like I was not funny with that character, even though like our professor wanted me to be funny with it.
you
So
had me
like,
rolling.
so when I'm thinking I'm being funny, girl, I hear him crackling in the audience. It was just the most hilarious thing ever. I'm just like, I love this. I love this.
Literally in the background, you hear, ah.
And it's just like, you know what? I love the support that's behind me. Love
Yeah.
the support. But like
Even when we had to run, oh my gosh, we had to do that over and over again until we got it right. When we ran down the
the
ramp
vamp.
to the stage,
Yeah.
oh boy, we did
Yeah.
that at least 10 times
Yeah.
because we
Like
had to get
until
the
we got the
run down.
scene perfect.
Yeah, we had to get the scream right or the charging noise right. We had to get the
Yeah.
running right and had to be in position at the right time.
Time. Yeah. And then
If we
our
weren't right, it was
musketeers had to get their stuff right too, because like
yeah,
our parts and their
right.
parts coexist. But it was that whole ramp thing, girl, I was tired. For everyone who do not know about me, I have weak muscles in my legs.
Yeah.
So picture that picture a person like that having to run up and down a ramp repeatedly to get something correct. And I was so angry because I almost
Yeah.
fell. And then I had
That's so
Sam in
funny. I'm
front of
sorry.
me. You're good. I had Sam in front of me, and then I had our classmate Harley behind me. Girl, it was like perfect timing. I was like, stop, went down. They picked me, like they caught me midair. I was like,
It's not funny.
thank God.
Y'all, please don't come for me. I'm sorry.
No, it's like no, to me now it's funny because back then it was not
Yeah.
funny. I was mad, but like now it's funny because every time I think about it, I'm laughing. I'm like this crap is stupid.
Yeah, because
But
I was in the front, right?
so I think you were, I think you were behind me. I think Harley was in front of me, you were behind me,
Yeah, I think it
and
was in the
and
back
then
actually. Yeah,
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 and then they caught me midair, and then it was ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
it was. Oh
But yeah,
god, I can tell by your face you were so tired of that scene.
I was so tired. I was just like,
I was like, Nene, come on, we can do this. We can do this.
I
We got to
couldn't,
do this one more time,
I
girl.
couldn't do it. I was just praying to God. I was like, can you please move on past this? We've been doing this for like a good solid 5 minutes, and we did like 10 runs within each five, like within that 5 minutes. I was just like, dude, I'm done here. It was
Right?
ridiculous, but I loved it. I loved every ounce of that. That show was amazing, girl. I felt
It
like
was a lot of
Ensemble
fun.
brought the heat of that show. Like no shade towards our leads and our supporters, but like our supporting leads. But like, girl, I felt like Ensemble brought the heat of that one, girl. I felt like we was on top of it. like, you
And
know.
that's kind of a big of a show we had to be. I mean, we had to be on point because I didn't
Right.
realize until now it was that big of a show. You
Yeah. Oh
know,
yeah, no, it was
yeah.
huge. I
Even
think our
reading the
set
script,
was
yeah,
huge.
it was because even
Our
reading
set
the
was huge.
script, like one of our teachers was like, the script was just blueprints of what we had to bring like live to the
Right.
stage, and he was right. That was just blueprints. But when I saw the finals act of it, I'm like, wow, this is really quite something.
Yeah, this is a big thing. But I think, in my opinion, out of all the shows that I at least participated in, like on stage and backstage, I mostly did backstage, and because that was my
Yeah,
space, you know,
right.
that was like one of my favorites that I ever worked on and be on set on stage for. They must have been like amazing. Um,
Agreed. That's just the
now,
magic of theater, really. Like behind the
right,
scenes, that's where the magic happens. Well, besides
it
on
does.
stage, behind the scenes is like where how they create the magic. It's phenomenal.
It is
Like
like,
so much
I
can go
mean,
into a 1 hour show.
right. But like, I my thing is like, if you're a theater major, I say have fun with that. If you're thinking
Agreed.
about theater, I say try it out. At least like give it one class or do one performance. See how everything is. It looks crazy, but like when you see how much goes into it, it's so much magic. And that's what I
Agreed.
love about theater is the magic that goes into it because like everybody busts their behinds,
Oh yeah.
because so we have this thing. It's in the proper term, it's called Tech Week. But
Oh,
but
oh
if you
great.
are a theater person and you love theater, you know for the terminology that everybody else calls it, which is Hell Week,
Hell
because
week.
it
That
brings a
week.
lot on. It brings a lot. So we called it Hell Week,
Yeah.
because everybody is in their own mood. Everybody is like on point,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
Our professors, whoever professor we have, because we had three professors that would direct their own show. It's like clockwork. So it's
Yeah.
like, so like in the fall you have two shows, and then in
Hmm.
the spring you have two shows. So it's like each professor gets their own show.
Yeah.
I think when I first got there, and then within into my senior year, we had, I forgot, it was like a residence program
Hmm.
where our professor would go to New York and California, and he would audition like professionals.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For Shakespeare in the Pines. You're right.
No, well, no, not for that. Well, for that one, but also for like for the ones that we put on at
Oh,
Pembroke.
at school,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah, because like our first show of the of like the year in general will be our
Hmm.
residence program. Um, show. So a professor would go to New York and California. He would audition like actual professionals, who and like whoever got the part, they'll bring them on. So when we first got to Pembroke, the first show was Romeo and Juliet. We had,
Yeah.
I think we had about 4 or 5 of them,
Hmm.
that came in. That they're super nice people, super cool people, and and the reason for this program was to like let people who are learning theater, kind of get an insight from professional people, and then the next year was the Three Musketeers, but that got turned from a from that it from like professionals, it got turned into students instead, because we
Yeah.
had
Hurricane.
yeah, because like in Pembroke we have hurricane season, and that year this one was the hurricane was pretty bad, so we had
Hmm.
to, and since it was coming pretty soon, we had to send our professionals back home for that one. I mean, I got to meet them, and they were super cool. They were super nice, and
Yeah.
everything. Um, but we weren't part of that show for that one. Our friend was. So we got to meet them, and they were super cool people. It was really a bummer that we didn't get to see them act for that one.
Hmm.
So we just joined, crew and cast, me and Sam, when they were like like, so like our professor, he had a show, he had his show for the semester already planned, but he scrapped his and did Three Musketeers, since we couldn't do it with the professionals. And
Hmm.
then as we did that, yeah, like, so all of us were in it, and then our last one was called Noises Off, and I loved that one.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a
That was
lot of
fun.
fun, and in our our professionals were amazing people. They were so
Oh
sweet,
yeah,
so
they're
kind. They
fantastic.
were fantastic. So I did backstage for that one. I did costume for that one. It was pretty fun. I got to dress all the
Mm,
girls, make sure their clothes were ready. It was really fun. The show was funny because it's like a show within a show, but it's
hmm
like it's a comedy and it's really really good. And I think
I
everybody did
recommend the movie
phenomenal.
too. The movie and the play is
Mhm.
they're so good.
I haven't
It's
seen the movie,
hilarious.
but I've definitely
Oh,
like
that's on the next watch list then.
there we go.
I
But
actually
yeah,
own the movie too, so hey, perfect.
there we go. But it was a really amazing time. I'm online, like, I say, like, check out your theater program, see what they have to offer. It may seem bad in the beginning, but, like, you can learn a lot within your program, and that's why, like, I really, like, I'm blessed for, like, ours,
Agreed.
right? Because
Agreed.
I'm just like, yo, like,
Because also
yeah,
theater is a great way to break out of your shell, which is
it
one of the
is.
reasons why I joined theater.
Mhm.
Because when I was a kid, my mom took me and my brother to see Rent for the first time at
I love
the
Rent.
Blumenthal. It's
Yeah.
love
Rent's
Rent.
an amazing show.
It really was, and that's when I, as the term goes, got the theater bug. It bit me, and like the lighting, the costume, the acting. I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, that's so cool. And then that's when I'm like, I want to try out theater. And then
Yeah.
starting in middle school for me, actually, it was middle school
Okay.
that I took a theater class. I auditioned. I didn't get anything.
Right.
But my first part I got was in the ensemble, and it was for a Little Shop of Horrors. And
Love that show too. Little Shop of Horrors is
me
amazing as
too.
well. But
It
yeah.
was, and I love the movie. So doing the movie and watching a show, doing the show, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Yeah.
And then as I escalated to high school, I got the ensemble or just nothing at all, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. I
And
mean, yeah, I think for
what can
me,
you do?
yeah.
Uh,
I think for me, like, it was more of like, in church, we would do plays, and I thought they were always funny.
yeah, yeah.
So then I didn't do anything in middle school with it, and I kind of projected into high school. So I think I
Mm-hmm.
waited till my sophomore or junior year before I joined theater.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't audition because I got close with my theater teacher back in high school, and I didn't do the show that year, that
Mm-hmm.
my junior year, like I wanted to, um, because I was working, and no, it was my senior year. I was working,
Mm-hmm.
so I missed auditions, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
I ended up quitting that job for personal reasons, of course. And then the next play was actually my last play that I got to be a part of, but everything else I kind of like helped backstage with. I was stage manager for one play. We did what was it for Colored Girls? I was backstage
Oh, that's a good
for.
show. That's a
I was
good
stage
show.
manager for that one. It's a really good show. And then yeah, my play that I auditioned for, got a supporting character role, was in The Odd Couple, but the female version of The Odd Couple. So like
Ah, I
so
remember
so
you
like
told me
just think
about
about Odd
that.
Couple, the
Yeah.
male part, and switch that to the whole female version. Loved it. I played Vera. So I was just like the lovable mother and wife,
Yeah.
and then like I was like the nurturing friend because like you had each friend in there with their own personalities. I was the nurturing character, which seems like me in a nutshell, honestly. So
Oh, perfect for you then.
I
That
was
was meant
ready
for
to adapt
you.
to it.
Pretty much when it comes to theater, that's mostly why I did it, was to break out of my shell. And I
Mhm.
did, mostly in high school where I met a lot of other friends I still talk to this day. And it made me realize how much I liked it and why I wanted to pursue it as a career. And
Right.
then, but like I said, I was so used to getting the ensemble
Yeah.
part that I was really surprised when I got the lead role in college. And I
Right.
thought it was joking.
No, it does that because like you get comfortable being in a certain position.
Hmm
So like it's like the true test comes when you are getting forced out of it,
Yeah.
and
And I kind of
it's
did,
really ridiculous.
well, not really forced, but not really forced.
Yeah.
Just like you said, like push,
Push.
just
Yeah,
like
you
you
get a
kind of
push out of it.
yeah. So that really did bring me out of my comfort zone more
Right.
a lot, considering I was going to be on stage as the lead, and the lead, of course, has most of the lines.
Mhm.
And then that's when I realized, like, so it's like this. Oh, I got to
Yeah.
do this. So it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because
And
I'm a person
yeah.
that stutters a lot, so acting really helped out with my
Oh,
stuttering.
I'm with you,
and then
sister.
like I was like really closed off. I was a shy person growing up.
Hmm.
Still am to
Same.
this day, but like kind of closed off. So like that's my outlet to be myself is theater. You know,
Yeah.
you give me a script, you're telling me that I'm somebody else. I play that person, and then I don't feel like the person that I don't feel like me. I feel like that character, but then it's like I take a piece of that character with me, and that
Agreed.
kind of like help improve me now to the point where I'm like more getting out there. So like I think that was like my ultimate reason of wanting to do theater is that. But like
Break out of your shell more.
yeah, but yeah, like just like Sam, like it helps us break out of our shells. That was like, and that is also one of the reasons why we kind of collide as friends as well, because like we had like the same ambition, like we wanted to break out of our shells, and this is like the one thing that's helping us do that. If you're a
Yes,
person out there and you are looking for a shell breaker, theater could be that for you.
it could. And it
Yeah,
also can help with personal things too. Because
of
lately when we did a
course,
check in with Holden, and we
right,
obviously are going through something, particularly in college or like
yeah,
with your personal life with family or something
right,
like that, it's a way to like just break away from reality for a while. Obviously, you shouldn't mix it in together, but
yeah,
just in a way just to deal with help with problems, particularly I think mentally. That's how theater
yeah,
helped me as well because I
yeah,
had personal issues going through school and whatnot. But with theater, it was a good way. Like with movies, it helps me break away from reality for a while. But I have to remember,
right,
oh, that's just a movie. That's just theater.
yeah.
I have to go back to my real life and deal with this crap.
Exactly, because like and like theater is like one of those creative outlets that really do help people handle their personal business. Because
Yes.
for one of my classes in my first semester of grad school, we had to watch this documentary. That was called Mad Hot Ballroom. It's on like Paramount Plus if you want to check it out. But it's a
Okay.
documentary about in New York where they brought ballroom dancing to elementary school as a program. And then they would have the
Mm,
kids compete and all that stuff. But it did a lot for a lot of children. I mean, it did a lot for a lot of children.
mm-hmm.
So the school that actually went on and won it because I was rooting for them. I was rooting for everybody, but I was rooting for them. And what one of the mothers said is that like ever since she has joined, like my daughter has joined this program, she's been getting in trouble less.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's doing her homework, she's not out there hanging out with like no good people. Same thing with like someone's son, like it kind of
Yeah.
like changed their life because it gives them like a perspective like they can be anything they want to be, like whether it's a dancer or just like an entertainer. And same thing for us, like theater is an outlet for us as well. So
Agreed.
yeah, so it's
Agreed.
our outlet.
Yeah, like with sports,
Oh
that's
yeah,
like with sports, it can help um it help you become who you are. And so
exactly.
that's why I think arts should be definitely a main program in schools. Because it's
Yeah,
just something about the arts that can help bring out the creativity inside yourself.
exactly. And then like, and it has your attention as well.
Yeah.
So like it's like you're devoted to it and it can really help you because like say if like, and this is not everybody, but like say if you have troubles at home, you
Hmm.
know, and you just need to get all of that out. Like theater could be that, like just say how you feel, project that into your acting. It helps out so much. and
Yeah,
and I feel like everybody, adults, children, they need a creative outlet or they need something to like be themselves. And
I
like
agree.
theater could be the way because like that's why I was so heavily into it in high school and then also in college
Yeah.
as
Not even
well.
just theater, like a lot of things in art, like
Yeah,
photography, painting, drawing,
right.
or if you directing.
Exactly. Directing for me, because I have a hard time finding my own voice,
Mm,
and I am still in the process of finding my own voice. It's a work in progress every day. I've been working on it ever since I realized I had one to say. So me being want to be director is also I want to help others get their voices out there. There are so many scripts and books and plays that can be turned into can be turned into an adaptation, and it's someone's voice that needs to be spoke, you know. So like that's also why I want to be director. I want to get other people's voices out there, you know.
Agreed.
That's
That's
just
why
me.
I'm. Yeah, no, I'm with you all the way. I
Right.
agree. But with theater or even arts in general, like because I do theater and photography, it's a way to express myself. With photography, I like to photograph things. I like for people to come and see the world through my eyes. I photograph
Mm.
anything. I don't care what it is. And I just want people to take a look at it and see what they think about it. You know, I like to
Right.
see the happiness in life.
Exactly. Within a picture.
Yeah.
No, I get
So
that.
yeah. So when it comes to being in the arts and theater in general, or in theater, I had no regrets either. I'm happy
Right.
I chose this program,
It's
and I want
same.
to look down in my life. I want to go further down in my life where I have no regrets at all. They're like, "Yep, I did that. I
Right.
did. But you know what? I'm proud of it."
Exactly. So let me ask you this. What is your favorite moment within our program? Something that you had experienced. It could be class, show, anything.
Ooh, it was. It's a lot. A lot of
Yeah.
moments that were my favorite.
Right.
Besides meeting you,
Yeah.
um, and breaking out of my shell more.
Mhm.
One of my favorite moments was when we were in the rivals. I think I told you about this before,
Okay.
where one of my
Yeah.
favorite props I got was a whip because I was like a driver
Right.
for one of the characters.
Oh god.
And David came up to me, he's like, "Here's your prop." I'm like, "I get a whip." I was so happy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But another moment that I felt one of my favorite moments was oh, what was it? Basically when we were all together as a
Mhm.
group. It was at the end
Right.
of I think it was the end of Three Musketeers, and we
Mm.
all went to dinner together. Oh, that was a fun time.
I
It was like
love
late
that.
at IHOPs.
Right. Oh, yes, we did. God, that was so fun.
It was a
Um,
lot of fun.
it was like Three Musketeers was so fun.
But
Um,
it of course was challenging for us. But at the end
right.
of the show, we all went to IHOP. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and we
Yes.
all had like drinks and together, eating
Right.
pancakes,
Yes.
laughing and joking. It's
Now
great.
we're saying 11 o'clock at night, and sometimes it would be like 2 in the morning sometimes because after a show, this is why I want to be a director. I envy our teachers when they were directing.
Yeah.
So it's the end of the show, the last day of the last show, right?
Hmm.
As soon as everybody gets out of costume, calm down, get this stuff together, they be like, okay,
Hmm.
now it's time for strike. And strike is basically us taking down that beautiful set. It
Ooh,
took
strike was something
it took
else.
it took a while to get to build that set. So
Yeah.
try tearing it down in one whole night. Girl, we don't be
Hmm.
leaving till like 3, 4 in the morning, and I'll be dragging my behind the bed like I can't do this. But everybody be like, let's go to Waffle House or IHOP, and I'm like, who can eat at this time of day right now, people? Ooh, for me, my favorite moment was I've always liked my history of film class. That was always
Mm.
fun. Um, Plus I had Hakeem in my class, so like Hakeem makes everything
He is a
fun.
joy.
He
He
is.
is
I
such a
love
joy.
Hakeem. Hakeem made every
I
class
love him.
fun. Um, but I don't know. I loved it. I loved about learning new like different types of theater, you know, out there. Whether it was just like interpretive dance, or like or just like mime, or like how like they did their shows back then. Loved
Yeah.
it. But I want to say like the favorite moment of memory was just Three Musketeers because we got to know everybody. We you
Yeah.
know
Because pretty
we
much everyone was in the theater department was in that show.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like the whole department came together for like one good show. It was so funny. Um God, Jamonte played the king, and I think that was my favorite scene whenever he played the king because it was
Oh, I
Jamonte
love
played the
it.
king, and it was so hilarious. He would play chess with I guess like with Eric's character, who was
Yeah.
like his like right hand man. And when he saw that he was about to win, he got so happy. So he did his little dance, and then he was like, checkmate, 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 checkmate. And I was like, But it
Oh, he
was
made me
so
laugh.
funny. Like, I
I am so
loved it.
proud of him too. He's got into Juilliard.
He
Oh
did.
man.
Proud of him. When I found out that he got into Juilliard, I was just like, I personally messaged him myself. I was like, "You do you, baby. Congratulations. You do you. Don't
Hmm.
stop being yourself. Be your most extraordinary self." Like, I was so proud of him. So I'm like, yes,
Agree. A lot of our classmates are doing great things. I mean, heck, a lot of them are in Atlanta. Some went to
Atlanta.
LA.
Yeah. I'm
Hmm.
in school right now, so I mean, like,
I'm in New York. I'm trying to audition as much as I can because I want to
same.
escalate myself from theater
Right.
to like movies, television, voice
Same thing,
acting.
yeah. I mean, for me, I wasn't always the acting person. Behind the
Right.
scenes is where I saw the most magic happening. So therefore, I would want to be backstage and be like, "This is where I need to be. This is where I want to be at." Honestly, so I just that's what I did. I just did
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I thought the same thing, but then I realized, like, no, I really do like being out there on stage entertaining people. I like to make people laugh. I like people to
Right,
feel something, you know. Not I'm
right.
not trying to be like, yeah, I was meant to be like this. I'm meant to be on stage in front of the camera.
No,
No, I
no, I
just
mean,
I
I
just
worked my butt off
yeah,
for it, so I'm here.
exactly.
Yeah,
I like for people to take away from a show what we went through with all this.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
like to entertain people.
Same,
It's fun.
like,
It's
for
fun.
me, I want everybody to smile. TV entertainment was always a safe haven for me. It was always a safe
Hmm.
haven. Um, I I don't know, during COVID, during hard times in my life, when I needed to escape, entertainment was definitely my escape. And
Oh yeah.
it brought me so much comfort, and that's why I want to like repay all of that back. I want to be
Yeah.
someone's escape and comfort as well. So that's why I'm in it and I love it so much.
Girl, I can't tell you how many times I cut school to go to the movies.
Ooh, I was not that bold.
Well, I didn't cut all the time. I'm putting it out right there. I didn't cut all the time,
Your
but when I
mom's
didn't
your
feel
mom's
like
listening to
going
this
to
podcast.
school, I know, right? Like my mom, like you cut school? No, no. There are times I didn't feel like going to school, or I didn't want to go to work. I went
Mm,
to the movies.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with people. I want to go to the movies, and I would sit
Right.
there for hours.
Girl, I wish I had the money nowadays just to go to like almost every show. But the movie theater is
Hmm.
getting expensive nowadays.
Who
Like,
you telling, girl?
girl, girl, instead of
That makes
paying $30 for me and my boyfriend, we just girl, we rented Super Mario for like $24, sat there, order food, and had a fun time. Like, that was
that's
our
why
cheap
streaming,
route.
why a lot of people are streaming nowadays because tickets are so expensive.
They
There's just
are.
something about going to the movie theater and to a play live.
Exactly, because like, who
It's
wants to
such
sit
a
there and
big
spend
pull.
almost $30 for some tickets? Like, you know.
Exactly.
But I mean, it is
Now,
what
do
it is nowadays.
I get there's discounts? Yeah, yeah, there's discounts and whatnot.
So, would you do this all over again? Do you regret anything? Do you have any regrets from where we were?
The only regret I have is not being more confident enough to do things that back in the day. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay, yeah.
really wish I had more. To be frank, I wish I had more balls to be more out
See, no,
there.
I get that. That's me too. I really wish I put myself out there more.
Yeah,
But I mean, like,
I
girl, we still got our lives ahead of us, so therefore we can make up for it.
exactly.
Yep.
We're a work in progress.
There we go. See, that's why we named this podcast a work in progress. Yes, you guys, it is time to end off this podcast. This one's a little bit longer than we really intended in. Okay,
We got
um,
personal, didn't we?
we did. We got personal with this one, but that's what we want. This is just a podcast for anyone who is thinking about theater, who need a
Yeah.
creative outlet. Maybe you want to be a theater major, but you're having some doubts about it. I know for me, I had a whole lot of people telling me you might want to pick something else to major in. So I had some
Hmm.
naysayers, people who didn't even know me, people who knew me. I had some naysayers in my life with this one, but I'm glad I chose it. It's hard, but hey, life is hard at this point.
Right.
So
What isn't hard? But
yeah,
if you want to do it, just simply do it.
just simply do it, work hard at it, and I promise you will succeed in life. But before we go, we got to do our little segment where we rate movies that we are currently watching. All right.
Mm.
So this one is another Filipino movie that Sam introduced me to, and it's called the I might need you to help here, Sam. But is it like the is it the unmarried wife, or like I always blank out on this one? All right, so yeah, unmarried wife. This one's really good too. This one was really really good. It's about a lady, a female. She's being cheated on by her husband. Um,
Unfortunately.
yeah. She walked in on him cheating on her. And it's she was so hurt and upset to the point where like she kind of separated them. But he's
Hmm.
just like, you clearly hate my guts. You don't love you clearly hate my guts. You have now looked in my direction. But in my opinion, you're healing from being for your trust being broken at this point. So it takes a lot of turns. So it's just like cheats on her multiple times.
At least
Um,
3 times.
I
Three
think at least three
times.
times. She is filing for divorce, but she finds another guy, and I was so disappointed because I was rooting for this guy. Honestly, I was rooting for him. I'm not going to spill too much beans about it. I was rooting for him.
Y'all, let me
But
tell you, she was so mad at this at that
she
part.
was she was very mad. Because let's see, she got cheated on 3 times. This guy knew that what she's been through. So he was more of the one who was trying to save her. But
Yeah.
basically, the basics of the movie is like she had to put herself first in these situations.
Hmm.
She had to put
But
herself
really,
first, and
you go
just to like
first,
cope with it.
Nene.
So
You
what?
first. How would you rate this film? Because
For
you,
oh my
I
gosh,
think, I think with no other woman, the
right.
unmarried wife, I think you had the most reactions to it.
I did. I had the most reaction because again, like I hated how she was being treated. She cheated on 3 times, and oh my gosh, it was so ridiculous. I'm not trying to spill so much about it, but it really made me upset. Um, he cheated on her 3 times, and then here comes another guy into her life, seeing her worth, her value, um, and then that just fall through. But
Hmm.
basically, she ends up finding it herself in the end,
She did.
and
Yeah.
she ended up finding herself because I think she just like really had to find herself, be her own person. Because she went through a miraculous change in the film, and then when she's getting a new job, of course she told her boss of all the mistakes she has made, and her boss is like, we don't judge people on what they have done, but we judge them on what they have learned from the outcome, and we believe in
Hmm.
second chances. So I love that. I will rate this, I want to say I'll give this one, I have to give it a whopping 4 stars out of 5 stars.
Hmm.
4 out of 5. I love the dialogue. The dialogue was really good. Girl, there was a
Yeah.
plot twist. It was a good plot twist.
Oh yeah.
Go
Oh
watch it.
man.
Go
I'll
watch it
watch
because
it.
go watch it because when you see what the other guy did, and I was rooting for him, and he broke my heart. So that was my plot twist right there. Um, I love the script. I love the opening scene because you can see on her face like something emotional is happening, and
Hmm. She
then
was
they
going
see
through something.
she's going through something, then an incident happens, and then it does like, okay, let's go back to the beginning, and then we'll tell you what's happening in this life in her lifetime.
Yeah.
And then so the dialogue was good, the story plot was really good, and I feel like it would be a movie that I would see again because it was that good. Because I know I stopped it
Yay.
and talked Sam's ear off for a whole hour about what I was pissed about and what I was not pissed about, and how
I didn't mind it though. I didn't
right.
mind it.
She loves when I do it. She loves it. But Sam, how would you rate this movie? And would you see it
Oh,
again?
5 out of 5. I thought it was
Five
good.
out of
And
five.
yes, hell yeah,
Yes.
I would see it again.
Yeah.
Another thing, it's another comfort movie. The
But
only thing probably I didn't like about it was oh, what was it? Basically, obviously the wife and the husband didn't get together, got separated, and he was
yeah.
like, "Oh, do you think we can talk about forever? Maybe try again?" She's like, "I don't know, maybe." I'm like, "What you mean, maybe?"
Maybe no. No,
She was trying to stay together for her son
for her
because she went
son.
through that crap too when she was a kid, like a broken up family because her
Yes.
mom cheated. But
Right.
I mean, it's just that that ending though. I'm like, if they get back together, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
the
cry
Iger.
so
No, I was so mad. I was just like, I don't want her back with him at all. No. And then but the reason why I docked a Doctor Star because the one person that I want to be the knight in shining armor was not the knight in shining armor.
He was just, he had to
Girl,
figure
it
out his
was
own problems.
he did, but it was like it's kind of like they went through the same thing. They were going through like toxic relationships,
Yeah,
and like he confessed it in the end. He was like, "You were so sad, you were hurt, you were broken, and I wanted to be the person that saved you from it all." You know,
yeah.
so like
At
that's
least he
why,
did. At least he did realize his problem. Same thing with the husband. He did
right?
realize in the end, like, yeah, I was a crappy husband, and
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
exactly. And
Too.
then the guy, he was just more like, because his relationship with his wife was toxic,
Mm,
you know, so
very.
therefore it's just like they like his relationship that he had that you guys will find out about was very toxic, and he needed to get out of that himself. But he introduced to our main character how to get out of those things, how to get out of that mindset and how to be better, and he actually did help her heal. So I have to give him credit on that. He did help her heal in a way.
Yeah, I guess in a
um
way, yeah.
yeah, in a
But
way,
in the
but
end, they need
that's why
managed
I
to.
docked a star from that, because, you know, like I said, but like I said, this is on Netflix too. So like our last movie that we mentioned, the other, was it the other woman, the no
No
other
other
woman,
woman.
no other woman, and this is the unmarried woman. Go watch this. Go
I
watch
think you like
them.
it. It's a
They're
good old
amazing
classic
shows.
soap opera. Yeah.
Exactly. They're really really good for it. And you got Netflix. I say watch.
Go watch it, enjoy it. If you want a good dramatic soapy opera rom com, I think you'll like it. I think it's good.
These are the movies. But me and Sam will see you guys next time with our next topic and our next movie review at
Yes.
the end of our episode. But we thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Follow us, you know, and make sure you can get updates about our podcast when we upload, so you'll be there first to watch. And we thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. Sam, do you have any words for our peoples out there?
As usual, peace, love, and stay nerdy. And for anyone going into the arts, I wouldn't blame you. Try
Yeah,
it out.
give it a shot. I promise you, if it can work for us, it can work for you. All right, we see you guys next week.